Welcome in to Rule One Podcast. Brian Spradlin alongside me is my partner,
Nathan Smothers. We're so excited for another episode. Today, we have Trey Matthews. He is an assistant coach at Valpo University, just outside of Chicago. He played baseball with Brian and I. He also coached us, and we're so excited to have him on. Welcome in, Trey.
Woo!
What's up, guys?
How's it going, man? How's it been?
Good. It's good to see y'all. Good to catch up with y'all. I heard this podcast from Trey. We just talked about it. So
Yeah.
it's kind of cool when you asked me if I wanted to be on it. I was like, heck yeah, dude, that's kind of sick. I like what I'm doing.
Sweet, man. Trey Woosley, he's talking about, was our first guest. He was fun. It was a learning experience, our first episode, definitely. We'll both agree.
Yeah, Brian and I were actually just talking about it, saying how we loved the idea of the first episode, but it was a little rocky. It was our first one. Learned a lot from kind of like the conversation, how it flows, and how to keep it on track. It was kind of more of a couple buddies catching up than kind of staying structured. And so now we got our outlines and everything. We're trying to roll through them a little bit better.
Speaking of which, welcome into Rule One Podcast, Trey Matthews. We like to ask our guest off the top of the episode our question.
Yeah. So basically every week we try to tie in the title of the podcast. And so we want to ask everybody, starting from last episode, what's your number one rule you live by, Trey?
So just growing up, I had a amazing family, mom, dad. And so my dad and I would always talk, and we talk about anything and everything, right? And my dad would always tell me, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, right? So that's really what I've taken throughout my entire life, is that for me, for instance, as being a coach, I can't come in day one or day 100 saying, hey, do this, do that, without showing them that I care. Showing them that, hey, I care for you as a person, your family, everything about you. And then I can hopefully try and teach you how to hit a baseball or throw a baseball or catch a baseball. That's the easy stuff. But if I show you that I care and people see that I genuinely care about you, then they'll actually understand where I'm coming from and hopefully listen to me. But that's just what I live by, is people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
I like that. And the profession that you've chosen is coaching. And I feel like that'll help you. That kind of perspective will help you in any route you do coaching. On the field, you're going to care about how well your team plays. You're going to care about how your guys act off the field, because you care about them as people as well. And that's going to resonate to you when you go, recruit one day, or you go, try to do something to broaden your success as a coach. And that's awesome, man. You're in the right profession.
Yeah, Trey, it's like I kind of got from that, like, kind of living your life to like 100% and giving 100% every single time. And I know just from, like I said, we played with you, you coached us. And that was one thing about Trey. I mean, he was going to give 100% every single time. He had some injuries while he was playing, and I mean, he went from catching to being our designated hitter and still was raking. And so that was one thing about Trey. I mean, everything he did was 110% and gave full effort on everything.
And I think that's why you had such a successful baseball story, Trey. Feel free to tell it. I know you started off at Plant City High School in Plant City, Florida.
Go Raiders, baby.
Go Raiders.
Yeah, kind of just tell us how you got to where you are now.
Yeah. So graduated in 2015. Growing up, I wanted to get away from home. So I wanted to go to California, New York. It didn't matter. Like, I wanted to go away from home. Well, my junior year, there was a kid that was going up to, I went to Southern Wesleyan. It's in central South Carolina. So it's like 5 minutes from Clemson. He actually went on a visit, and one of my lifelong coaches, my mentor, Sal Giardina, he actually said, hey, why don't you go up there and catch the bullpen for him? Like, they'll see how you receive all that. So I went up there my junior year, caught that bullpen, came back, finally finished my junior year, did all that. And then senior year, around this November, December, I got an offer from them. Played my senior year. Then the summer going into my freshman year, It was the first game down in Fort Myers. Tore my ACL. Was running home, play at the plate. I went one way, my knee went the other way. So that was devastating. Out for 8 or so months.
especially for a catcher.
Thankfully, yeah, no, yeah, it sucked. Thankfully, the coach honored my scholarship. Went up there freshman year. Was rehabbing in the fall. Came back probably. I had surgery in probably it was either June or July of 2015. And then in the fall, I rehabbed, did all that. Then I finally was able to play in about March of 2016. Tore my ACL again, play at the plate, just got caught up.
Man.
I guess, like they put a cadaver in. So a cadaver is a dead person's, like it's their ligament or something. I don't know. But my body didn't respond well to it. So then I was out my freshman year, played 10 games. Out freshman year, came home, got surgery, went back, rehabbed everything. Fluke of an accident in the fall. It was a fall inter-squad foul ball, and it hit me in like my hamstring while I went to go stand up, and my upper half went like this, and my lower half just turned, and it just somehow, freak of an accident, tore it again.
Man.
So this was the major one. So I went down the road to the doctor, and he actually did Deshaun Watson's ACL surgery. So he was like, "Hey, you can play through this, but you're gonna have like it's completely torn. Like you're gonna have to get it, or you can just go ahead and bite the bullet and get it now." So I was like, "Okay, let's do it." Got that. Missed my sophomore year. The worst thing was I was on crutches for 6 weeks, dude. That was terrible. So did all that and came back finally. Like I was down to like 175. Just didn't eat, nothing. Didn't work out, just down to 175. And I finally got with a trainer, put on some good muscle, came back my junior year and had a really good junior year.
That was at Warner, correct?
No, that was at SWU still. So,
oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't play my freshman year or sophomore year at SWU, and then I finally played my junior year. And then, just with everything going on, and I just wanted to come home. So then I transferred to Warner my fourth year of school, which was like one of the most favorite like years of baseball. I mean, the guys, the team, we were really good. Played that, but hurt my thumb, dude.
I remember it.
Went to go. Never happened in my life. Never, right? So catching, I go throw it to third and like boom, hit a helmet and like break my thumb. Out for 6 weeks. So
Fun fact.
That. And then
I was in the dugout that game against Trey. And this is before I transferred to Warner myself. And I was sitting there chirping Trey after he hit his hand on like my former teammate's helmet. I was like, "Man, you're soft. You're soft." And Trey gave me this death stare from the plate. And I was like, "Oh, bring it on." And lo and behold.
Still have that video.
Yeah, I know. Lo and behold, look at us now. It's awesome.
Yeah, it was all like I still have the scar, but it was all nasty and just
sounds.
So then we finished that. Then I come back for my for my fifth year at Warner again, and enjoyed that. But we only played like close to 30 games, and then COVID hit. And so that was like a huge bummer because there was no like closure, right? There was no senior night. There was no, "Hey, this is your last road trip. Hey, this is your last game." That was probably the worst, where I remember exactly. I wasn't playing that night, and then Coach Sykes, he was like, "Hey, they've been talking. There's certain, like, I think it was a case in Winter Haven or something." He goes, "But we're going to put you in for DH tonight." And so I called my dad, and he was mowing the grass. And I was like, "Dad, I don't know. This could be the last game." He's like, "Okay." Mom and I came. So, or him and my mom, they stopped what they were doing. They drove to the game. And I just remember after the game, like just crying in my mom's arms, like, wow, this could be it. So that was, I think, Thursday night. And then Monday is when we got the cancel, like, hey, we're done. The conference is done and everything. Um, and so then that's my playing career. So
And
in a nutshell, that's what I did. I went to two schools, played 5 years, had a blast. Got to meet so many different people, so many different coaches, so many different philosophies, and it was an unbelievable experience to play college baseball.
Yeah, I know. To hit back on the COVID thing, that messed up so many people because, obviously you graduated, you were finished, but in terms of freshmen coming into colleges, they honored, at least with the NAIA, they honored another year to a lot of those players. And so in terms of recruiting, like the coaches had basically an influx of players, and so they had to figure out scholarship money. They had to figure out if they were going to cut people, if they were going to, not take on freshmen. And so these seniors in college or in high school got to that point where there was a lot of kids that weren't able to go play college baseball that deserved to because of the fact that there were seniors staying in college and they didn't have room for them.
yeah, that happened to Brock.
Yeah. Brock, we
Hutchinson.
mentioned on
Happened to my brother as well. Coming out of high school, he wasn't transferring. He was, one of those seniors that was looking for a place to play, and fortunately, he still got his opportunity. But it was a little bit different circumstances of where he was going there to play for. But yeah, it affected so many different people in so many different ways. That virus, it's insane. But Trey, man, your career sounds, looking at it as a whole, is adversity after adversity after, thing. It just, I think of my career, I'm like, dang, I only had one bad concussion and, another small concussion and a broken thumb my whole college career. And so I was so bummed about those three small things. And here Trey is 3 knee surgeries in and a broken thumb, plus COVID.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention I tore my UCL too.
Yeah, and the son of a gun had to have Tommy John.
the guy's got he's a walking Band-Aid.
Yes, man.
I know, for real. Hey, I was never hurt one time, never missed anything in high school, and then college, boom, 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 hurt.
It's insane.
That's the way life goes.
Yeah, and you have a great mindset towards it, and I'm glad that you look at it that way. It shows your perspective towards life. And me and some others kind of have the same, outlook for things that we do. We have the same kind of positive perspective and everything that happens towards us. And it's good to see people, out there that have the same mindset.
Yeah, Trey. I kind of want to talk about, you mentioned, obviously all the obstacles you went through. How does somebody handle that? Because I know with, what goes on in an athlete's head, a lot of times, you eat, sleep, and breathe your sport. So that being taken away from you so many times, and then your career ending the way it did. I mean, how do you handle that in your head? I mean, how do you move forward? How do you go into the workforce? How does that work for you, man?
Yeah, it was definitely, there were some dark days. There was definitely some dark days where it was just am I really doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Should I quit? When I was, like I said, on crutches for 6 weeks, I was like, man, this is the third time. Do I really want to do this? Am I really giving my all for baseball when, baseball doesn't owe me anything. I get that. But when baseball hasn't really given me, anything back. But then I just kept thinking dude, how awesome is it going to be when I come back? And I was kind of I was very prideful and kind of selfish. How awesome is it going to be when I come back from this, from the darkest of despairs, from the biggest hole, and do what I do? That's so cool to me, is the everything that I went through honestly made me better. I saw a quote the other day. It said, smooth sailing doesn't create a skilled sailor. So I went through anything and everything, and now whatever I have to go through is, I've gone through worse. So if I go through something, oh, that's fine, because I've gone through worse. 3 years of my life where what I loved the most was baseball was taken away from me consecutively because of injuries. Now that's so small in comparison to other people, but when you microscope it to yourself, then you're like, okay, yeah, that is something. But it was almost cool to see, okay, how far low can I get? And then how high can I bounce up after this is all said and done? So that was like my driving force is like, okay, I want to see how high I can bounce after I go through all this turmoil and injuries and all that kind of stuff.
Man, that's awesome. Like that's the perfect mentality to be a coach for any sport. Like you embody a dog. Like you're a dog, bouncing back from all these injuries and like you said, you're like bring it on. I'm in the darkest it can get. The light will come. Bring it on. And I'm glad like that's awesome to face challenges that way. I kind of have that same sense, but every now and then I have that feeling in the back of my mind like, dang, can I actually do it? But he over here is just like, bring it on.
Yeah.
I'm a dog.
Roll with the punches.
Yeah.
So man, what's your baseball inspiration? Like, you talk about your times. What inspires you? What brings you? What makes you get up every morning? Like, or for instance, a hero you have or a baseball player that really you kind of coincide with.
Yeah, no doubt. Like I've always said that you have your why and you have your how. So my why is to be that coach that I want to be. How I don't care how I have to do it. Whatever I have to do, it doesn't matter to get me to that why. So like I'll read you this quote that I really like, and this is like what I try and take to coaching. If you focus on the fruit and ignore the root of the tree, or if you ignore the root, the tree will die. But if you continue to care for the root and focus on the culture, process, people, and purpose, then you'll always have a great supply of fruit. That just goes back to my first saying is people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And that wise, like I want to be a culture builder. Like I want to breed culture. Winning is a byproduct of the culture, I believe, but like the culture of making those relationships with guys, like coming in and doing this with y'all two. There's no way I would have been able to do that if it wasn't for baseball. Like learning how to create a culture where there's accountability, there's responsibility, there's hard work, there's dedication. All of those like go in, like coincide in what I want to do and how I want to like create a culture in each and every day, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So like those things are what inspire you, like, what make you get up. Like, is there, I think what Smothers was asking, is there like a specific person who,
oh yeah,
lit the fire, gave the dog its bite, that this attitude you got?
Yeah, no doubt. So, Sal Giardina, he's been, I've been playing with him since I was 10 years old. Like he has been anything and everything that I could think of. He's been the best person that I could think of in the baseball world, even a second father, right? Even a friend. I've been playing with him since I was 10. And then when I graduated high school, I started coaching with him. And then after
that was your high school coach, correct? Just to clear everything up for the listeners.
No, I think it's just travel ball.
Yeah, it was just my travel ball coach.
Yeah.
It wasn't my high school coach. It was my travel ball coach.
Okay.
And then that's who I went coach with right after I was done, or right after I graduated.
Yeah.
At Sefton. And so, dude, if I need anything, if I'm having baseball problems, call him. Money problems, call him. Girl problems, call him. Like he's just and he can put it in a way to me that makes so much sense. But he was the one that was like, wow, like you have your good coaches and you have your bad coaches,
yeah.
right? And like your bad coaches, you can still learn from them. You can learn what not to do from them. He was an amazing coach, and I learned everything to do, like how he creates a culture, how he interacts with his players. And I'm like, wow, like I want to be him. Like I want to, coach like he does. And so he's been my like mentor, if you will. And I coach with him over the summers, and he's been awesome. Yeah. So to answer your question, it's Sal Giardina.
That's awesome, dude. I know Sal.
I know the name. I don't know him
I know
personally.
him through the travel ball circuit, I'll say. I've heard the name. Yeah, that's awesome. Dang, you right off rip too, man. Like that was quick.
Yeah,
he knew exactly who it was. If you asked me, and like if we asked ourselves that question, we'd be like, I don't know. Let me get like 5 minutes to think about it. I'll get back with you on that. He was boom,
Yeah,
quick.
it just shows how much your love for the game has developed
Yeah.
too. Whenever you have, for me personally, there was some coaches that I had that, I mean, I absolutely loved the game. It didn't even matter if I was doing bad, if I was struggling, or if I was hitting bombs left and right. It was the coach that pushed me to become better and saw the drive in me. And then you'll have the coaches that are a little bit lazy, like don't necessarily push you to your capability, and it almost makes you hate the game because there's more in you and they're not pulling it out of you. No matter how hard you try, it's kind of like that mentorship of a good coach will pull every little last ounce out of you and make you into that player you can be.
There's like coaches out there that don't resonate with certain types of players.
Yeah.
And there's certain coaches out there that, mesh well with certain types of players. At my first school, unfortunately, me and my head coach butted heads a lot. We didn't get along well. There was nothing personal between the two of us, I don't think. It's just the way I think we kind of looked at the game and just how we looked at things separately, and it just didn't work out. And then I had a coach kind of like Trey in travel ball that I absolutely loved. Like, he was kind of like that second father figure. He taught me the game. He let me see it a whole different way and helped me out a lot in my career. And I think that's cool how, you have that same story, and I do too. And I'm sure a lot of athletes out there have that same story with a coach.
Yeah, man. So, all this talk about, like good coaches and this and that, how do you see yourself progress? Like, do you see yourself just trying to be like Sal, or do you have kind of a different flavor? And then talk a little bit about, your coaching background. You mentioned coaching for Sefner and then moving towards Valpo now.
Yeah. So one of the main reasons why I like coaching too is, other than the fact that I did it my whole life, so it's really like the only thing I know. Like, I know baseball, right? But it's a game of failure. So it's the perfect life game, right? So you can teach not only baseball, but you can teach men life. Like, I told this when I was considering coming back because I still have another year of eligibility, but I tore my ACL, I had to get a UCL, I had to get surgery, and I told this to the coach at Warner, Coach Scheidt. I was like, baseball has 100% retirement rate. Everyone is going to retire from baseball at some point, whether you're 45 years old and you have the blessing to play that long, whether you're done after your senior year. It's 100% retirement rate. So who are you after baseball? Like, what type of man are you? What type of husband are you? What type of wife? Sorry. What type of brother, son? Like, what type of employee are you? So that really, you can do that in baseball. And so I don't know. I just always wanted to coach, probably because of Sal. But after I was done playing, went to Sefner, coached there just because of what Sal means.
Sefner Christian. Yeah, Academy.
A high school.
Yeah, right outside Tampa.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So just because of everything that he meant to me, I wanted to go back and I wanted to coach there. And then I always just wanted to get into college coaching. That's just something I wanted to do. I thought I connected well with the guys. And so then there was an opening at Warner where I graduated. Came there last year, spent all year last year. And then as that was going on, I just kept on saying, like, okay, what's next? Like, kept praying about it, leading me down the right path, like where you want me to be. And so I wanted to continue to grow as a coach and as a person, right? Because I have a strong passion in baseball. And so this opportunity was just there, and I don't think I could turn it down. And so last Thursday, the coach and I talked. Friday, I gave my answer. Tuesday morning, I left, and then the rest is history. But I want to continue to grow, like continue to coach as much as I can wherever baseball takes me. It takes me. Learn from as many people. So kind of like my philosophy too is everything's a puzzle, right? Like me, myself, and I'm a puzzle. So if I learn things from y'all, that I like, okay, I'll take that and I'll put it in. If I learn things from someone else, okay, I'll take that and I'll put it in. There's things that I might not like, and I'll say, okay, I don't like that part. I'll keep it over there. But if I like this part, then I just create my own person, right? And so that's what I kind of want to do and see where baseball takes me. And eventually, I want to be a head coach somewhere, whether that be high school, college, it doesn't matter. But I do eventually want to be, and that's my goal and aspiration is to be a head coach.
Well, you can definitely tell that one of your, puzzle pieces you just mentioned is passion, and it's a big one. Like, you packed shop and left for this gig, like you just said. Like, you got the call and you were 100% in. Now you're in Chicago. Heck, a month ago you were living in Florida in Lake Wales. Like,
Yeah,
asking me to come hang out. That's crazy, but that's called passion, and that's going to lead you a long way. Me and Smothers have a passion for this, and we enjoy doing what we're doing, like talking to you, learning your story. We like to do it with everybody, and it's so nice to see people like who are passionate and willing to take risk, like you, like us, to go do something like that. That's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah, I feel like everybody has that one drive or that one purpose for their life, and there's something that really gets them fired up. And like, I just want to encourage people, like, if you ever feel like you're being held back from going to pursue your dreams, jump for it.
Yes.
Like, there's so many ways to, pursue that dream, whether it's go learn from somebody. I had a lot of people tell me, if you really want something, take a, unpaid internship, just follow, somebody that's in the field, or just take an unpaid internship and learn from those people and show your passion, show your dedication for it. Because if there's a drive in you, 9 times out of 10, it works out for you.
Trey, you're tying in a lot of the things that me and Smothers covered in like episode 2. I believe it's titled Motivation and Storytime. Yeah. We talk about what motivates us to do this and what motivates us to be passionate about the things that we're passionate about. And I'm glad to see that like that pays off, and we see it in other people too. Now you're telling us how you're passionate about coaching and all the things that go into it, and I love it. Like, it just shows us that people can be passionate about different things in life. But once you devote yourself to change and you want to do it, you can. You don't have to be in handcuffs or whatever's tying you back. It just takes change and planning and devoting. Like, I'm going to do this. Like, that's what you have to do for it to happen. And that's what you've been doing. You went to Warner and you've been planning, like, what's my next move? What's my next move? And boom, a Division I school right outside Chicago. Why not take it? And you're there. Like, that's awesome, dude. That is awesome.
Yeah. Like, in a perfect world, yeah, I would love to, still be in Florida. I'd love to do that. But like, our prayer and God's plan, and it's His will. Like, you never know what's going to happen, right? Like,
yes.
Last Saturday, I was playing golf with my buddy, not knowing, like, okay, next Saturday I'll do this and that. Like, what? I had no idea, like, it's so crazy how in a blur of a moment, things can change just because, hey, His will, His timing, all that kind of stuff.
Dude, that's awesome.
When I say His, I mean God's will and God's timing.
Yeah, I kind of to go along with what you're saying, I say, like, the number one rule I live by, it's kind of like my motivation. So I say, like, my biggest hero is myself in 10 years. And so I'm always striving to be that person that I am in 10 years and look up to the dreams and the goals that I have. And once I get to those, like, 10 years later, my hero is still that person in 10 years. And so it's kind of like that never ending cycle of I'm going to push myself to be the best person I possibly can and strive for the goals and work as hard as I can to become that best possible person in me and kind of be I mentioned, like, that coach pulling out of you. I'm trying to get that hero to pull out of me. So.
Yeah. And I'm the same way with myself. Like, when it comes to my goals and what I want to do, my thing is discipline. How disciplined can I make myself to do the things that I need to be done for, this podcast, my job, my health, and my life? Like, right. It's all discipline. And, I stray away from it every now and then. Well, more times often than not. But I hold myself to a certain line, like where I draw things in the sand. I don't ever go past this line. And I'm okay with the person.
Non-negotiables.
Yes, and I'm okay with the person that I am and the activities that I do from this lineup. It just makes me who I am today. It makes me the person I am today. And a big part of that is discipline. Holding myself accountable, holding myself, hey, Smothers, we got to record a podcast today. We got to find a guest, like stuff like that. And that's huge. And I know that's huge in coaching too. I'm sure discipline is big in that. And you could probably elaborate on that. But that's my personal guidance. How disciplined can I hold myself to be successful?
Yeah, Trey.
Find a way.
Yeah.
It's finding a way, no matter what. Find a way. Whatever you do, find a way. If something's broke, find a way to fix it. If something's not right, find a way to make it right. Find a way. You can control your effort and your attitude.
I feel like I'm getting a Coach Matthews seventh inning speech right now. Yeah. I love it. I love the motivation that we're supplying people.
Yeah, this episode's really aligning with our second episode because I said there's a big difference between discipline and motivation. Discipline is getting up and doing what you're supposed to do every single day and staying on the grind. Motivation is the feeling of wanting to go do it, but the most successful people in life they're not necessarily motivated, they're disciplined, because there's going to be those days where you don't want to do whatever X. Okay. And so staying disciplined is, you know what? I don't want to get up and go to the gym, or I want to call out sick. Nope. I have goals in mind, and I have determination. I'm going to go get that done, and I'm going to stay disciplined.
And, Trey, I will give you props with this past year. I played for you. People didn't know. I was a catcher at Warner University, and Trey Matthews was our catching coach. My senior year, it was 2021, but he preached that. He would preach discipline to me.
2022, bud.
2022, sorry. I'm stuck in 2020 for some reason. But in 2022, my senior year, you were there. You made us disciplined. You made us accountable. You made us, own up to our mistakes and kind of keep an even keel throughout every game, no matter the situation, no matter the moment. You were really good with that, and that helped me pull out the best player out of myself every game. And I know you're going to preach that to your players and instill that in your players. I think it'll pay off big dividends for you, partner. Big dividends, especially in the coaching realm.
I try.
So we've talked about all this motivation and everything, and the kind of the pitch that Trey has been giving us about kind of his coaching style and how he sees players. Well, Trey, I want to talk a little bit about, I know you're very fresh on the job, but have you given any thought of, recruiting / NIL deals? Y'all are D1. I don't know if that applies to y'all. But you've kind of given us pitch and how you see yourself as a coach. How do you see yourself going to those players and convincing them and be like, hey, come play for me, and I'm going to make you the best player you can be?
Give me the Trey Matthews recruiting pitch right now.
No, that's a good question. So I got here Wednesday night at 3:00. Thursday and Friday we're just individuals. So we're just getting to meet the guys, seeing guys, getting to know the routine. There's actually 2 recruits here yesterday, but I was doing something, so I couldn't go along with them. But yeah, that's something that I look forward to doing. That's something I look forward to learning is, what recruiting looks like here. Now NIL, I don't know anything about that for here. I know if I was a Florida quarterback, Anthony Richardson, whatever he wants, he's got it. If he wants to get far, he's got it, right?
You can you try to get some smaller bat deals for guys or something at the school. At Warner,
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if that's part of NIL or if that's just part of the sponsorship going to the school and getting that because you're on the team. That I don't know. That'll be something, because in any sport or in any school, baseball kind of loses money.
Yeah.
It's the football teams that bring in so much money, so they're going to be the ones making, tremendous amounts of NIL deals or whatever. Right. I don't know, to be honest, if there even is a guy on an NIL deal, or if they look for it, or if they have it. That I don't know.
Yeah, to our listeners, obviously Trey's very fresh on the job too, so we kind of just hit him with this one as well.
But it's
I'll be interested to see though, and when
yeah.
I do, I'll know more. And let
Yeah,
you know.
because the NAIA, I mean, which is what Warner is, it's not. There are NIL deals, but it's very low
Strict.
scale. Yeah, it's strict and
Yeah.
low scale compared to you see the D1 stuff. So, it would be very interesting to see. Maybe we can make a TikTok or something if you find out more
Or
about the NIL
have a
deals and figure it out.
Part 2 episode one day.
Yeah.
Down the line.
Maybe whenever you're a head coach of a big
Yeah.
D1 school.
Speaking of which, I want to ask you a question. Trey, I know me and you used to, bull crap in the dugout about this. Where's your if you could pick up any school, any position, any coaching spot, where's your dream destination? Where would Coach Matthews most like to be?
That's a tough question because probably anywhere in Florida. I just something about Florida. I love it. Um, so really, if this is gonna sound so cliche, but if I'm a head if I'm a head coach somewhere, if I'm coaching for a living and making a difference, honestly, I don't care where I'm at. If I could wake up and say hey, I'm a coach today, I don't have to go to work. This isn't work for me.
Yeah.
This is because I love it. It is a passion. So yeah, that cliche. Yeah, I mean, if it takes me, maybe not California. That's a little too far. But it, I would love to be in Florida. That would be my dream.
Yeah, you're a big Florida Gator fan too, right?
Yes, sir.
Maybe
we're
one
talking,
day.
yeah.
Maybe one day you could take Sully's spot.
That's what I'm saying. We might be talking to Sully's replacement right here. You never know, man. You got to keep climbing the ladder. And that's with everything you do. Anybody out there listening, you got to keep climbing the ladder in whatever field that you're passionate about. For us, ours is going to be climbing the charts. We got to keep getting views, keep getting follows. And, we've been adding. We have goals set, and we've been getting those goals. I know for you and that chair in that office, your goals are a lot different than ours. Yours is probably, make a conference tournament, win a conference tournament, get to a regional. You just got to devote yourself to them, like we talked about.
So
I learned this from Saban, on a show that I watched. He would go up to his players and ask them, hey, what are your goals? So let's say, hey, my goal is to have 10 sacks in a season. I don't know. And then he would say, okay, well, what are you going to do to get those goals? Okay, well, I'm going to work out. I'm going to give 100%. I practice every day. I'm going to eat right, all that. And so he would go by, and let's say they weren't eating right for that day. They were just eating a bunch of junk food. Hey, man, I thought your goal was to get 10 sacks. What's going on? You said you were going to eat right. And then he's not really the bad guy because he asked them what their goals are and how they were going to get their goals. And so he's just, holding them accountable by saying, hey, I thought you said you wanted 10 sacks and this is how you're going to do it. That's a small scale, but he would ask them what their goals are, and then how they would get their goals. And then they weren't achieving or going through the right process. He would just be like, hey, man, I thought you said you wanted 10 sacks, but I mean, if that's not it, that's okay. You said 10 sacks. So
I think
that's why Nick Saban's the best.
I was say I think for any coach out there to model after Nick Saban, it's going to be a good call. The guy's got the most national championships at the highest collegiate level sport. So,
So Trey, we want to talk a little bit. We're going to take a little break after this, but I did want to ask, what are kind of the perks? So in terms of being assistant coach at Valpo, I don't know if you've kind of been run through that yet. Which you don't have to talk about this if you don't want to, but are there benefits with being a head coach assistant coach? Kind of merch, any kind of merch you get? What are kind of some of the cool things that come along with the job?
Yeah. So I'm actually in the facility right now. I got my office. That's pretty cool. It actually looks out like I have a window right here. That way, that goes out to the baseball field. It's pretty sweet. I walked in, I was just like, wow, this is pretty sweet. Turf field, the locker room, the players' locker room is in here. They have an indoor facility. We have our locker room that's across the hall. There's a weight room in here with a kitchen. I was actually earlier there's a player lounge. Earlier today, I was playing NCAA football 14.
Oh,
Road to
nice. The
Glory, so
revamped? The revamped?
I was in
Oh,
there.
man.
And then I've gotten a couple shirts, and shorts and a hat, like this hat right here. But I think more stuff's coming. I have no idea, but yeah, I'm excited for whatever. And then this is a hat that I was given to. So
Awesome.
Nice. What are the Valpo's? Like, what's Valpo's mascot?
I think it's the Beacons. Yeah, it's the Beacons.
The Beacons?
It
I'm
was
gonna
the
need to get
Crusader.
me some Valpo gear.
Yeah. We got to rep it on the pod one time.
Facts. We gotta hook us up, coach.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'll see what I can do.
He's like, I got to get my shit first.
Yeah, I gotta get my stuff first. That's funny.
Well, Trey, I think we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to slide into the snap questions and throw some stuff at you.
Took a little short potty break. But it's time for our favorite, segment of the episode, our snap questions for all of our guests. It's kind of our segment, where we kind of wrap things up and get to know you a little bit outside of, the topic that we talked about. You ready?
Sure am.
All right, let's go. First question from me. If you could have 3 people at your dinner table, anybody, dead or alive in the world, who would they be?
Man, putting me on the spot on this one.
Yeah.
One.
Go ahead.
What's up?
Go ahead.
One is, and I'm actually reading his book right now. Is going to be Abraham.
I love it. Sorry.
Just because, like, it's Team of Rivals. My roommate back at Lake Wales, known him my whole life. Like an older brother to me. Family calls my dad Uncle Tommy. He's been a great influence in my life. I was reading a little bit growing up, but not that much. And then he really got me into reading this summer, and he gave me that book. And that book's great. It's called Team of Rivals. So when he became president, everyone that he ran against became his cabinet. So, like, that's just I would love to be with him. That'd be in no particular order, but he would definitely probably be there.
You said Abraham Lincoln, correct?
Yeah, Abraham Lincoln.
Okay.
Nice. Got the beard. Like him too.
Yeah, got the beard going. So got that in common. 2, probably let's go with, and this is a tie between the 3. Can I do that or no?
Yeah. You can.
So if Abraham's 1, I can tie within 3 and then have another person.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Okay, so a tie would be between Derek Jeter, Tom Brady, or Michael Jordan.
Oh, all champions.
Yes, that's exactly why, because they're winners. They're different breeds, and they just, I don't know, something about them. Just, I'm sure I could learn a lot from them. So there you go. They're tied right there.
Okay.
The last one. Woo. The last one. That's tough. Like,
Yeah, so just kind of to give you some time to think, Brian and I, we have very similar ones. Mine's Robin Williams, Matthew McConaughey, and Elon Musk. And it's kind of, you have the deep theological ideas of all of them. They all can get deep in how they perceive the world. And then at the same time, they're all very funny. Like I've seen, Matthew McConaughey, he's in a bunch of great movies. Robin Williams, my all-time favorite actor, hilarious. Hate the way he went out. And then Elon Musk. I mean, I hear he's just a character. I mean, he's just like, some people, like conspiracy theories, they say like he's an alien and stuff like that. Like apparently it's just, he's a very interesting guy to talk to because he says some things that are just outlandish, and you try to wrap your mind around his vast imagination of how he kind of goes about things.
Mine were Joe Rogan, my college professor, Mr. Craig, or Dr. Craig, sorry, and Elon Musk. The conversation there it would be about learning. Like I said, I would take down so many notes just from the thoughts and brains behind that convo. But you got your third person ready?
Yeah. So I'll go Abraham Lincoln, and then I'll just go Michael Jordan since we need three. So Abraham Lincoln, Michael Jordan, and then Donald Trump.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Very successful businessman.
Yeah, great business mind.
I know a lot of people that we've asked this question to some of our friends just to kind of get their response and kind of learn from,
how to respond to this.
Yeah. So we want to have this question in every segment because it kind of shows like your background and how you perceive the world. And one of our friends answered Donald Trump, and
we were curious.
Yeah, and she said she was like, not even because of the political agenda that he has, but solely on the business mindset of the man too.
She was a marketing major.
Yeah.
So.
And so, I mean, he took that small loan of $1 million and turned it into something big. One of his famous quotes, but that's a good one.
Yeah, I see why. Yeah, you got your snap question?
Yeah. So, Trey, you're a single guy, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, you're 25, right?
25. Yeah. I'll be 26 in February.
So, you're in your 20s, obviously I'm sure you want a wife eventually. What do you look for in a woman? Like if you go on a date, kind of like the red flags that you're like, I'm definitely not pursuing that. Or the green flags being, great personality, whatever. What do you look for in a woman, and what are some of the things that trigger you off of certain ones?
Yeah, so we'll start with like the pros. Just like easy to talk to. Being a best friend, it's not like forced, because at the end of the day, you're gonna spend the rest of your life with this girl. So I would want her to be my best friend, and it just become natural. Like it's easy. Like, hey, let's go do this and that. Like, not saying like she's like one of the bros, but like that she's just cool with doing whatever. Like we can do this, we can do that. Like it doesn't matter. She's just nice and easy, relaxed.
Very laid back.
Yeah.
Like now I'm laid back sometimes, but other times like I'm all over the place. It just depends on the day. But
same.
I guess that's probably all of us. But let's see. Oh man, I was gonna say something else too. Like no games. Like don't play games. Like if it's like
no games.
Don't play games.
Like don't play games. Like just like be honest, be straight up. Like if you want this, say it. If you don't want this, don't say it. Like I don't want to like sit here and read your mind. Like ooh, like and then like 2 months later you say, well, I said it like this. Like you were supposed to know. Man, I don't know. Like,
I don't know. I'm a guy.
I'll be the first one to tell you. I don't know anything about women. Like I've made my fair share of mistakes, but I don't know. Like they do this, and I'm like, oh, okay, that means that. No, that sure probably doesn't. Like
I feel like we're clipping like a Tinder profile video for Trey here.
Got to get single girls in the Chicago area. This might have to be a clip on a TikTok.
Yeah. But no, okay. So don't play games and be relaxed.
That makes sense. Like,
yeah. No, we get it. We get it.
Straightforward. Be straight.
Yeah.
Tell us what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what are some of those red flags? Like you see in a woman, you're like, definitely no.
Not another date.
All right. Like, yeah. I'll keep that one to myself.
No, I mean you can say like if they've got bad feet, you're out for me. Like or something like that.
Mine's bad teeth. Bad teeth.
Yeah.
I would say like dramatic. Like don't be dramatic. Like if you're really like a drama queen, like that's gotta go. Maybe I don't know, like these are all like, I mean, you named it perfectly. What did you say? Spot on questions. Like when you put it on the spot, like things come to you like that, or they don't, and it takes a while to
See, well,
answer.
that's what we kind of.
That's why we like it. It's conversation sparks.
Yeah, and so it kind of gets your raw reaction of what It gets kind of the true response, not kind of like this is scripted. He had time to think about it. It kind of thought pops into your head, and boom, that's what I want.
Another would probably be like life views and like political views and like stuff like that. Like that's just there's some things like you were talking about, you write it in the sand, and those are non-negotiables. Like I can't get on board with certain things. So if there's just a wide like when like if we were to get married or something and we had a decision like, hey, this is what's going to happen with our kids. No, this is what's going to happen with our kids. Okay, that's obviously, a no-go. So it'd be like life choices and political choices and stuff like that. That would probably be
kind of like your worldview.
Yeah,
like,
you got to find your match.
Yeah,
and that's the thing, and it's okay for other people to have different worldviews, but this is just your preference. And for me, like I know I'm the same way. I look for someone that obviously thinks along the same lines as me, and I don't shame anybody else for thinking a different way, but to have a life partner and to be able to raise kids. I mean, for instance, if I don't know, for instance, like political views, if you're married to somebody that doesn't agree with your political views, how do you raise a child and kind of gear them to be like, this is what we believe, this is our standard, if both parents are kind of, disagree on that? And I don't know. It's just, you gotta
find your match. Like you gotta find your vibe. You gotta find your match, your vibe, your person who's willing to make your dreams come true, and the person you're willing to put their dreams ahead of yours too. Like, it's hard to find that. I totally get that, but I think I found it. Knock on wood. We shall see.
Trey and I are still looking for ours.
But that's what it takes. You gotta find that right match, or you're not going to be able to do anything together. So
I agree.
All right, we got two more. We got two more questions for you, and then we're going to let you get back to your busy coaching schedule. All right.
It's a Saturday.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right. Well, I know you just moved, but what is your hobbies outside of baseball? Because I know you used to do stuff around here all the time.
Yeah. So, about a year ago, I picked up golf. Like throughout playing.
Same with almost every ritired other baseball player.
That's just like so. I never played golf. My buddy was like, "Dude, you gotta play. You gotta play." Can't. He's the man. I was his best man. His wedding. He's like a brother to me. He's like, "Dude, you gotta play. You gotta play. You gotta play." I'm like, "No. It's boring. It's stupid. It's boring. It's stupid." And then he got his own set of clubs. And he's like, "Dude, I have clubs for you. Like, here, just take them. Like, let's go play." So October 17th of last year, we went and played. I was awful. I mean, terrible. Like, but that's who I was playing with last week. And I'll give you a cool story here. So we're playing in a tournament, and he's been hyping this one guy up all week, saying, he's a scratch golfer, like he's good, like you don't have to worry about it. I was like, dude, I'm not that good. Like, don't get your hopes up. Like, I don't want to come here and make you look like a fool because you brought me and I suck. He's like, no, you're good. You're good. Like, there'll be a guy there that's not as good as you either. Like, you're good. So, first shot, boom, I hit it way to the left into the water. I'm like, oh, all right, that's a good start. So then the next the next ball, we're 137 out. So Kent, my buddy, he goes first, and he puts it a little bit close. And then I go, boom, and I hit it. And I was like, man, that was pretty good. And the guy's like, dude, that went in. And I was like, no, it didn't. He's like, that went in. Like, no way. So then he hits it, and he's a little past the pin, and the other guy hits it and goes to the right. So we're driving up, and there's two balls on the green. And I'm like, dude, where's mine? Mine might have been, over the green or something. The other guy like gets out of the cart, runs, looks in the pin, right in, bro. I was
137
shot of my life. Like we got an eagle on 4, like, best shot of my life. And then I actually have it in my office here. It was on the back 9. Same thing. I got closest to the pin. There was like 145 people playing, and it was like 130 out, and I put it like right next to the pin. And so like yeah, it's definitely golf. Like I love the golf.
That's awesome. I know you used to go with like Matt and Coach Mo, like people around here. I know Matt agreed that he's going to come on the pod sometime. He's our old athletic trainer. That'd be a good one.
Sweet.
But
Yeah, I helped him move. He's at UNCG.
Yeah,
UNC
in South Carolina. But no, that's awesome. Golf. I've tried to get into it. I was bad.
Brian's very bad.
Yeah, I'm very bad. But don't get me wrong. If somebody invites me to go out on the golf course, I'm gonna go pick up an 18 pack and I'm gonna go golf with the
little
boys.
boost with the boys.
Yeah, like we're gonna have a good time. It's gonna be a good Saturday. Yeah, definitely.
On a golf cart, like I was watching the Florida Missouri game on the golf cart, just like hanging out with the boys. Yeah, it's a blast.
And then on top of that, I think baseball players love it so much because, obviously we're so used to hitting a baseball, but you can swing as hard as you can. It goes 10 times farther. And then on top of that, it gets
not go straight. It might not go straight.
Yeah.
It might go.
You're going to have
cool.
It
looks cool.
Grip it and rip it, baby.
You're going to have a bad slice if you're just coming into the game.
Yeah.
But, it kind of also gives you that competitive drive like that you had growing up. And so you still kind of be able to compete as well as, learn how to swing a whole different way.
Yeah.
But, Trey, go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, no, I was saying because, after I was done playing baseball, you don't compete in anything. Like, what's there to compete against? So golf, you can compete against yourself and have that drive again. So it's pretty cool.
Well, Trey, we want to do this will be our last final question, but we're both big music people. We kind of want to know, like, what's your favorite music genre / who's your favorite artist? What are, you're cruising down the road, driving up to Chicago or whatever. What are you throwing on the radio?
Yeah, so I go back and forth between a couple. Love country music. I'll listen to that anything, anytime, anywhere. 1900s or 1990 country music, 2000s, now country music. Just love country music. And then I like 80s, like rock. Like I love 80s
Nice.
rock.
Hairband.
So I can jam to that. Like throw that on, working out, and I'll jam to that. I'd say my favorite artist is Eric Church.
Ooh.
I just like,
Yeah.
like his music. Been to 2 of his concerts. Like him. But yeah, he's my favorite artist.
Yeah, that's a good one. I listen to a lot of his songs.
Yeah, he's got a bunch of really good stuff. Like he's kind of got the southern rock twang to him a little bit, but at the same time, he's also got his very relaxed, chill vibes as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
then you got your Morgan Wallens, you got your Luke Combs, like love them. But yeah, I'd say my favorite is Eric Church.
That's awesome. Well, Trey, we've had a blast. We're so happy you were able to come on and kind of dive into
the life of Trey Matthews.
Yeah, the purpose and your whole drive throughout your coaching career and what you're looking forward to, man. We really appreciate you coming on and spending some time with us.
Yeah, bro. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Like you are a great. Yeah, dude, like you're a great interview. We can obviously tell that you are driven and you are meant to be a coach. You have found your purpose and you've found that with God and you found that with yourself. And I'm so glad that on your journey that you're, chasing your dreams. It's refreshing to see people out there, going after what they really want. And it just gives me hope for a lot of different people, a lot of different friends. And like I said, friends of ours. We can't wait to see where you end up 5-10 years from now. I'm hoping it's in an SEC stadium up in Gainesville. We would love some box seats for the boys here at Rule One Podcast.
No doubt.
All right, Trey, thank you so much. Good luck.
Thank you all. This was awesome.
Good luck this upcoming season,
awesome.
And you guys go win a championship of some sorts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome, man. We'll see you later.
Thank you, guys.
Good one.
Yeah, man. I love talking to Trey. We had a blast. You can just tell by the way he talks and how driven he is and just excited for the future that has before him.
Yeah, man, I feel like he's going to be, one of those guys 6, 7, 8 years from now. We look at it and be like, oh, man, that's Coach Matthews.
Yeah.
That's Coach Matthews. He's at, whatever big school he's going to end up at. He's obviously got the drive to get there, and I firmly believe in him. Like I said, I believe in all my people and all their things.
Yeah, you also can tell, like, just by having conversations with him, you're like, he has the makeup for a head coach.
Fire.
Yeah.
He's a fire.
Like, just by talking to him, if he said he got a head coaching job at Valpo, I would have 100% believed him. You can just tell just by the way he talks and how he goes about his day and how me knowing him personally, but on top of the fact, just hearing his motivation, you can tell he's got that want and the goals that he's going to reach after.
Yeah, for sure. Well, partner, another great week, another great guest here on the Rule 1 podcast. If you guys are out there and you have a cool story and a cool background and you want to come on and let us know, reach out, follow us on social media.
Yeah, it's Rule 1 podcast. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, YouTube, Twitter, basically every single social media platform. So, send us a direct message and we can try to figure out something.
And you'll see that every time we follow somebody on our Rule 1 podcast pages, it's from people that have been on the show. Yeah. So if you want to follow back, reach out, come on the show with us, come have fun.
Yeah, if you want to go check out Trey's Instagram page, we'll be following him as along with Anna Bear and Brock Hutchinson and Trey Woosley. They're all on there as well.
Yeah. All right, partner.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week.